we must continue to talk about this. Many people have asked me, why are you hammering on the case of Nnamdi Kanu? Don't you have something else to do? I consider those questions very strange because they suggest that someone is failing to appreciate the gravity of Nnamdi Kanu's case. What that case stands for is much larger than many people realize. It's not just the trial of one man. It is the trial of an ideology. It is the trial of his method. The idea that somebody could come one day, declare himself the leader of the Igbos, and begin to ask for secession under the guise of self-determination and set up militia, and militia begin to kill up to 30,000 people. That is what we're talking about. We're talking about mass murder. It's not that this case is being presented as terrorism and incitement. We're actually talking about mass murder. A lot of people died, and more could die. A lot of property was destroyed. It was mayhem in its worst form. It is something that threatens the entire Igbo race. In fact, it is the worst calamity to happen to the Igbos after the Civil War. So anybody asking why I'm talking about that case should probably go and re-examine his head, because if I don't talk about this case, there's nothing else to talk about. This is a very serious matter. And the problem is that as we discuss the actions of Nnamdi Kanu, there is something we are forgetting. We are forgetting that Nnamdi Kanu would not have gone as far as he went if he did not have millions of people who were willing to be lied to. There were millions of people who could be lied to, who will welcome lie, who will not demand for proof to accept a lie. Those people are still there. They're still praising him. So that is the problem. Look at Nnamdi went as far as he went because he had people he knew to be stupid, to be gullible, who could believe these things. So ignorance was weaponized in the case of Nnamdi Kanu. And now we know, Nigerian government, you now know that when you have a population that is ignorant, largely ignorant, you are in danger. The country is in serious danger, because you can weaponize the ignorant people and turn them against the state. Nnamdi told them that Buhari was died, and was cloned into a full-grown adult called Jibril al-Sudani from Sudan. And he was sitting at the Aso Rock with the ministers and the whole world that nobody knew except Nnamdi Kanu. He told them that, you know what? They believed it. Even graduates believed it. This is something that is absolutely impossible. You cannot clone an adult, produce an adult who understands the English language of Buhari, everything, to the point of deceiving everybody. So only a complete idiot will believe that. And there were millions of idiots who believed that. Nnamdi told them that Donald Trump was going to give them Biafra. He even gave a date. They believed that. He told them that Netanyahu of Israel was going to send Israeli forces to come and fight to liberate Biafra. They believed that. He told them that the Queen of England had given Buhari an ultimatum. They believed that. He told them they believed everything. He told them he had 5 million men under his command. They believed that. It's incredible. That is the danger. That is the real weapon here. The real weapon that killed these people may not be the gun used to fire at them. It was the weaponized ignorance and gullibility of millions. And that weapon is still active today. That weapon of ignorance is still active there. You see people believing these things. Everybody's talking about release of Nnamdi Kanu. Nobody's talking about the victim. They didn't even know what happened. Yesterday, I was talking with a friend of mine, and we talked about Professor George Obiozo. George Obiozo, you may not know, was Nigerian ambassador to Israel and then to the United States. He was a professor. He was the head of DG of the Nigerian Institute of Foreign Affairs. He was trained in Columbia, a consummate professor in international relations and international politics. Wonderful man, refined human being. His last public position or semi-public position was as the president of Ohaneze Igbo. George wrote extensively. He wrote books, he wrote research papers. He taught in America and in Nigeria one of the most educated Igbo personalities I have ever come across. A loving man, a kind man. When he became the head of Ohanese, Nnamdi Kanu attacked him. Because Nnamdi attacked anybody who tried to lead the Igbos. People did not even see that he's seen these people as rivals. They believed his attacks against them. So he attacked Obiozo as he attacked Nyawood. They continued this vicious attack until the house of Obiozo was burnt down by ESN. They burnt down his house in Imo State. And this was the center of Obiozo's world. He had moved his books and files and libraries to that place. I happened to have met him in his house in Lekki. It was a rented house. He didn't have that. He didn't have a house in Lagos. So he explained to me how he had planned to relocate and make Imo State, his hometown, the center of his presence. So his file documents, diaries, his meetings with presidents, Nigerian president, Israeli prime minister, US president, all these things were documented, and he kept them in his house. ESN people came and burnt it down. They burnt his house down in March 2022. Obiozo never recovered from the shock. He died December 2022. That was what they did. That was the product of years. That's what IPOB achieved. And that is why our lawmakers are campaigning for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I think that we've got a problem in this country, particularly in the Igbo. Before you even talk of Biafra and all those things, look at yourself. You call yourself lawmakers. And all you can do is to campaign for the pardon of a man convicted, whereas you left his victims unattended to. Our lawmakers should be ashamed. Every Igbo lawmaker involved in this nonsense should be ashamed of himself. He's an enemy of the Igbos and probably a participant in the atrocities committed by IPOB. They should be investigated.